Have you ever watched kids completely tear apart a living room and thought to yourself, seriously, what is the point of all this chaos? Well, let's dive right into this explainer and unpack how a seemingly chaotic playtime is actually a fascinating, highly structured journey through developmental milestones. If you're a parent or an educator, understanding this is literally a game changer for how you view a messy playroom. When we observe children at play, running around, shouting, switching rapidly from one game to the next, it is so easy to just see noise and boundless energy. But if we look closer at the source material we're analyzing today, which follows the incredible imaginative adventure of brothers engaging in an afternoon of play, we uncover this beautifully structured sequence of learning. We're going to see exactly how physical construction, cognitive learning, sensory testing, and deep empathy all naturally unfold when kids are simply left to play. To make sense of this wild adventure, we've deliberately categorized the continuous stream of play into these 5 distinct, easy-to-follow chapters: building the dream playhouse, counting 1 to 10, the blindfolded food taste challenge, hot, cold, and rescues, and finally, babysitting little brother Chris. Let's get into it.
Section 1. Building the Dream Playhouse, Physical and Spatial Reasoning. So the children don't just throw blocks together randomly here. With a little help from Mom, they start right at step 1, gathering blocks for the first floor. Then they systematically move on to construct the second floor and finally complete the third floor. What is absolutely crucial to notice here is that this specific sequence requires the kids to actually negotiate who gets which floor before they can finally order the furniture. It's this brilliant early exercise in compromise and spatial planning.
Just listen to the sheer triumph in this quote. "Third floor is the best. Our house is ready." You can really feel how the joy of physical effort culminates in this triumphant moment. It shows us exactly how building something from scratch yields this powerful, undeniable sense of ownership. They didn't just walk into a pre-made setting, right? They engineered their own environment. It makes the space entirely theirs, which sets the absolute perfect stage for all the learning that follows.
Moving on to Section 2, Counting 1 to 10, the educational progression. Once the house is built, how do we fill it? Well, the primary educational goal, naturally woven right into their game, is counting from 1 all the way to 10. But as we'll see, they absolutely do not achieve this by sitting quietly at a desk with a worksheet. Instead, they are counting out loud while literally running from imaginary poisonous candy. They're popping balloons. They're counting the healthy veggies baby Chris is eating, tallying up colorful ice cream sprinkles, making delicious smoothies, and unboxing new toys. By attaching numbers to these high-energy, super engaging activities, the learning process becomes completely invisible and honestly way more fun than a standard math worksheet. Next up, Section 3, Blindfolded Food Taste Challenge, High-Stakes Sensory Exploration. Here we see the kids engaging in a high-stakes sensory challenge where sight is completely removed to heighten taste and texture. This brilliantly illustrates their raw, unfiltered reactions to different sensory stimuli. They're distinguishing the sweet, yummy rewards of fruit like pineapple and carrots from the harsh, oh no, penalties of a raw radish, a sour lemon, or even paper. Turns out kids still aren't big fans of raw radishes. Shocker, right? But this isn't just a funny little game. It is literally the scientific method in action. They're forming hypotheses, conducting blind tests, and analyzing the results through intense, immediate feedback. That brings us to Section 4, Hot, Cold, and Rescues, the elements of imagination. As their play deepens, the children begin to manipulate their imaginary environment, and they explore this fascinating dichotomy. They realize that hot is fantastic because it's essential for baking a delicious pizza. But wait, it also creates a dangerous lava floor that requires an immediate rescue. Conversely, cold or ice might seem really uncomfortable at first, but it acts as magic to soothe and heal bumps and injuries. It is a surprisingly complex understanding of how forces in the real world have both positive and negative consequences. Naturally, the sudden, extreme danger of lava requires a quick solution, which prompts the first of several complex role plays: the fireman. When Mom gets trapped by the imaginary lava overtaking the room, one of the brothers instantly transitions into this brave rescue role. This shows an incredible leap in cognitive flexibility, right? He's shifting instantly from a kid just playing on the floor to a specialized hero whose sole purpose is to save his family members. But what's really interesting here is the sudden shift to specific rule enforcement. The imaginative complexity escalates, and the play isn't just about survival anymore, it's about society. An authority figure, the policeman, steps in to enforce civic rules.
specifically demonstrating this by issuing a strict $10 fine for littering trash on the ground. It's just a wonderful real-time demonstration of how children internalize the civic duties and moral rules they observe in adults.
Finally, the doctor emerges. When a sudden, imaginary leg injury occurs during their adventures, the rule enforcer is replaced by the caregiver. The play transitions from strict civic duty to genuine empathy and physical care. The doctor steps up, asking what hurts and providing immediate aid. This rapid evolution of characters, from a brave rescuer to a strict rule enforcer, and finally to an empathetic healer, shows a remarkable breadth of emotional intelligence being exercised in just a few short minutes of play.
Which perfectly sets up our final module, Section 5, Babysitting Little Brother Chris, Emotional and Social Play. In this chapter, imaginary empathy translates into real-world responsibility. Mom entrusts the older brothers with a very structured, frankly exhausting list of caregiving tasks for their little brother Chris. We're talking feeding him meals, reading books together, painting race cars, playing outside and running off that energy, and then the ultimate boss battle of babysitting, putting him to sleep. It is a literal masterclass in sibling bonding and learning how to prioritize the needs of someone much smaller and more vulnerable than themselves. And all of that effort leads right to this moment. The ultimate reward for their hard work is genuine parental validation. Mom tells them, "Thank you, you are the best brothers." That right there is the ultimate wrap-up to their day. It positively reinforces their social and emotional growth, validating their empathy, their hard effort, and their responsibility, which ensures that these positive behaviors are firmly cemented in their developing minds.
So after building 3 stories of a playhouse, counting invisible items to 10, tasting everything from sweet pineapple to bitter lemon, rescuing the whole family from lava, and successfully putting a little brother to bed, we have to ask ourselves this final question as we reflect on the immense hidden value of unstructured play. Is there anything more exhausting or more rewarding than a full day of play? If you're a parent or an educator, this is exactly why unstructured play is absolutely crucial. What looks like just a messy afternoon to us is actually the very architecture of human development. Think about that the next time you see kids lost in their own imaginary worlds. What essential life skill are they mastering today?